So growing up, a lot of people like to play the video game Sims, as most of y'all probably have. Now the great thing about Sims is you can virtually pick what you want your characters to look like. You get to pick their hair color, their eye color, their height, who they get to marry, if they have any kids, all that kind of thing. And a lot of people are very fond of this as they want to create kind of the ideal person of themselves, what they strive that they could look like and what they strive to be going off in life. But the scary thing is that can actually happen in real life. People are actually able to kind of handpick what their children look like. They can pick their eye color, their hair color, what they look like, and that can cause a lot of problems. So genetic engineering is unethical and wrong. Genetic engineering, the definition according to dictionary.com, is the manipulation of DNA to produce new types of organisms, usually by inserting or deleting genes. And specifically today, I'm going to be talking about genetic engineering in humans. And this is wrong because it can cause genetic mutations. You kind of get the sense that you get to play God, and it creates a decrease in genetic diversity in the world. So, genetic mutation. So anytime that you are tampering with something new that you have not tried a lot and have a lot of experience, there's a lot of unknown. And that's the exact same for genetic engineering. Scientists aren't exactly what is going to happen when they touch a string of DNA. If they try to manipulate it, a lot of things can go wrong. And although that you are able to eradicate some illnesses and diseases through genetic engineering, you also can introduce a lot new diseases, some diseases that you have no idea the effects that they can have, and really create more deaths and more complications than the illnesses that you tried to eradicate. Also, anytime that you are tampering or messing with the womb of a pregnant lady, a lot of complications can happen. So a lot of miscarriages can happen. You can have stillbirths, you can have premature births, and these effects can really last an entire lifetime of that child just because you are trying to change something in their DNA. Now, you get the chance, the scientists and the people that want this genetic engineering have the chance to play God. So they are actually able to decide what these people look like, and it's not anything by fate anymore. They get to sit down and say, this is exactly what I want my child to look like. And it takes out the element of surprise of actually having a kid and seeing what traits that they have of you. You have no surprise of what's going to happen. You know exactly what the child's going to look like. Also, you're kind of valuing appearance over skill and intelligence and character. So you're saying, I would rather have my child look good and pick out these appearances to make them look and be the best person that they could look like, instead of valuing honesty or trustworthiness or a good character in the person. Also, a lot of diseases exist for a reason. So diseases are a natural way of controlling overpopulation. So the world has a big problem with overpopulation nowadays. There's a lot of lack of resources, lack of water, lack of food, and a lot of species are dying out just because there's so many people on this earth. And diseases, if they are eradicated, if genetic engineering takes out most diseases, more people are going to live longer, and people are going to live a lot longer than they do nowadays, which really will increase the population of the world and create more overpopulation. And that's just something the world cannot handle anymore. So the last thing is genetic engineering limits genetic diversity. So at that sense, you are kind of saying, oh, this is what I want my person to look like. This is what I want them to do. And it can get rid of a lot of diversity that already exists in the world just naturally. And so a lot of this genetic engineering is extremely expensive. It is only going to be affordable to a small select few people. But as time goes on, the population is going to be made up of these people who were genetically engineered, which will kind of kill off a lot of maybe jobs and traits that low-income people have, and will really just not have a lot of diversity in the world. And it kind of comes to the sense that it's a sort of like Nazism, with Hitler was trying to create a superior race, trying to make sure everyone looked the same way and had the same traits. And the same thing is happening here, that you could create that superior race. You could do that with genetic engineering, which is a scary thing. So overall, many countries could create these superior these superior people. They could handpick what they want their country to have, and a lot of bad things can come from it. So just remember, it is a lot of fun to kind of pick what a person can look like in a video game in virtual reality, but virtual reality really needs to stay in virtual reality and not become an actual reality and come into our world nowadays.
Some mercy.